This series is called On My Terms. It's a space for conversations with people who are intentionally building lives that are authentic to them, even when those lives don't follow a conventional or linear path. In these conversations, we talk about choice, uncertainty, and what it really takes to live in alignment with yourself. In today's episode, I am sitting down with my best friend, my mom. We talk about starting over, unlearning expectations, and what it's like to see your child build a life that is different from what you were taught to want. She reflects on the life she imagined at my age and the beliefs she's had to question both as a woman and a parent. To me, this episode feels like a bridge between two generations, and it serves as a reminder that choosing your own life isn't a one-time decision, but a lifelong practice. Okay. Let's get into it. Hi, Mom. Welcome to On My Terms.
Hey.
Okay, so I really want to have you on this series because obviously parents play an essential role in how their kids view the world. And so the first question I wanted to ask you was, when growing up with me and my brothers, it was really important for you to take us on vacation, to see the world. And so I want to know, why was that important for you as a mother?
Well, starting off is important because as a child, I got to see the world and travel because my dad was in the military. And so I wanted you all to experience that too, because when we moved back to Mississippi and I had you all, I want you to experience kind of what I got to experience, to see the world, meet different people, cultures, and just experience the world in general without just being stuck in one town.
So what did you hope that we would take away from seeing like different cultures and like the world and stuff?
Take away your own perspective of anything that you experience. Like if you wanted to go out and explore once you got older on your own without just being stuck in one spot, or if you want to stay home, but it just gave you the chance to give you that opportunity to make your own decision if you want to leave.
I like that because obviously I feel like I'm a product of that, of you really pushing us to go out in the world and like travel and explore and stuff like that. So I feel like from a child perspective, if any parents are watching this, I feel like it's very important to like really push your child like as soon as like you can, to be like, hey, go see the world. This is what you could take away from it. Because I know a lot of people that they get so attached to like their homes. And so they're like, oh no, I just want to stay home. I'm going to get homesick and stuff like that. Right. And it's like, if you never push yourself out of that, how are you going to grow, you know, and how are you going to like see the world and stuff like that? Right. And so I feel like that's very important as a parent because you guys really help shape us in our worldview. Okay, so when you were my age, okay, so think all the way back to 25, what did you think a good life looked like?
When I was 25, I thought a good life would be just the typical, you watch shows and TV, oh, you graduate high school, you meet the love of your life, you get married, you have kids, you have a nice house, you both have nice jobs. That's what I saw at around that age. But of course I did get married before 25, so I got to experience a lot of that before 25, which I wouldn't change any of it for the world. The only thing, you know, is just when you have kids so young, you know, you have to kind of grow up, which we were pretty mature for our age because I married somebody that actually went into the military, so I was used to it because my dad was military. So we're still together after what we just celebrated our 27th anniversary. And everything I wrote in my yearbook came to pass.
Yeah, I remember looking at that yearbook too, and I remember asking you, and this leads to my next question, is like, I said, Mom, if you were like in my generation, because you know we're so exposed to like other lifestyles that your generation wasn't really exposed to. Like you said, you were watching TV, and I feel like with traditional media, they were more structured and like very limited. They had a lot of gatekeepers. But now you have social media and you're exposed to way more lifestyles than you were back in your generation. Right. And so now looking back, how much was your decisions and like creating a good life influenced by that versus like what you really wanted? Because you kind of touched on that a bit.
I mean, pretty much everything that I wrote in my yearbook and that I saw on TV, not saying it was ideal and that I wanted to do it because I saw on TV, it's just something that I wanted.
So that resonated with you. Like what you were seeing on TV, you're like, okay, this resonates with what I want.
Right. I didn't have to Because everybody's like, oh, you get married so young, you're not going to be able to party, you're not going to be able to do all this and that, you're not going to be the experience the dating world. I really didn't want to do that. And I found who I wanted, and we connected, and we wanted the same things in life. And so that's, I just feel like that's who God prepared and had for me. So I wasn't going to question that and be like, oh, I'm too young, God, I don't want to get married. Too young, I want to go explore the world. I still explore. I was still able to, we both go out. We both got to party together. But I didn't have to have that, like some people do.
And speaking of age, you got your associate's degree back when? When did you get your associate's degree?
Back in 2010. Well, I got my LPN license back in 2002. And then when I went back to school, got my associates, RN associates, back in 2010.
And so that was like after high school, after you graduated high school and stuff like that. Okay, and so now recently you're going back to school, and I want to touch on that. I want to know what motivated this choice to go back to school at this stage in your life, because I feel like a lot of people may feel like, oh, when I hit a certain age, it's too late for me.
No, it's never too late. I know some women, I read online that a lady that was 60-something years old was always her dream to become a nurse, and that's what she did. So it's never too late. You're never too old to keep educating yourself. I'm going back just to, get more in depth in education and nursing, just to better keep up with my skills, serve my community, and get more educated in the field. Plus, too, to be honest, all the kids are about to leave the house. The last one's about to leave, so I just figured they'll give me something to do, kind of just further my education. But it's never too late.
So the next question I want to ask you is, what advice from your generation do you think no longer applies, or that you hope I don't blindly follow?
I think the advice that our generation always got was to follow the status quo. Like I said, when you come from a small town, it's pretty much like, oh, go to church, you need to make sure you find somebody. Then once you find somebody, it's pretty much like you're forced into, I wouldn't say forced, but it's kind of like, oh, you should get married. You guys, once you get married, you need to go ahead and have kids. And so I think that was, especially like in my mom and grandma's generation, that kind of spilled over and over into multiple generations. And so my advice, and like I said, I wouldn't say it was a curse, but I kind of want to kind of stop that with my kids. Like, no, you don't have to do what I did. That's what I chose to do, was to get married and have kids. You don't have to necessarily follow the status quo of, oh, if you get married, you got to have kids. In this generation now, like you said, with more exposure to different lifestyles and stuff, I think everything is kind of changing.
And speaking of pushing your kids to more alternative lifestyles, I remember when I started sharing my plans and stuff like that, you and Dad were kind of hesitant. And I get it, parents, you want them to stay close to home, so you can protect them and stuff. And so now that you've seen my life kind of unfold, how do you feel about the lifestyle I'm building?
We're very proud of you, because you could ask anybody I work with. I think all my patients probably know about you by now. I always talk about, my daughter's in Spain teaching English. But you've always been very strong-minded, strong-willed. Like your dad said, even if you tell her to stay here, she's not going to do it. So I'm just glad you followed your own path and was able to navigate yourself out there. And as parents, we do worry, we want you to stay home. But at the same time, back in my head, I'm like, I do want her to explore. I don't want her just to be stuck in one spot just because mom's like, oh, I'm nervous for you to go out there. But like I said, we always say pray, we have faith. And that's what keeps me from having a nervous breakdown.
So going off of that, what is something you've had to learn or unlearn as a parent while watching a child like me who is creating an unconventional lifestyle?
I had to unlearn the status quo of, just keep them close to home, you keep them safe. I've learned no matter where they're at, they could be home, stuff can happen. They could be right across the street, something can happen. You just have to pray for their protection and just let them live their lives, because either way it go, they gonna do what they want to do. So you just got to let them follow their path.
But I also want to add on to that too, because I know a lot of people who they really take their parents' opinion to heart, and that's what holds them back. So I just want to say, if you really value your parents' opinions or like your family's opinions, I would say definitely explore your why. And like, if you value your parents' opinions, value that, but also value your own opinion as well. Because I feel like a lot of people value other people's opinions over their own, but it's like your life. You get what I'm saying? Because like for me, it all comes down like, this is my life I'm building. and I'm the one that has to live with it. So I just want to add on to that for people who are like, oh, well, I really value my parents' opinions, my family's opinions, and stuff like that. At the end of the day, it's your life.
And I feel like with people like that, I feel like they'll end up resenting their parents.
Yes.
Once they be like, oh, I could have really went and did that. But I was listening to my mom and dad and I couldn't. So I feel like then some of those children like that would end up resenting their parents.
And so now I want to go back to the past just a little bit, okay? So if you could go speak to your younger version of yourself, the woman who was my age, so 25, what would you tell her about choosing her own life?
I would tell her to don't listen to what everybody say. Like I said, oh, you get married too young, and I think you get some of that from me. Have your own strong mind, strong will. I would tell my 25-year-old self, you know, just keep living your life. People are going to have their opinions. People are going to talk, but you just do what's best and right for you. Because you'll be happy in the end.
And one thing I do want to say and commend you on is like just watching, you don't know this, but your kids still see how you live your life, and like it influences them. Because like for me, I know going out into the world and like my friends tell me about like how they grew up and stuff like that is completely different, and like how they perceive how they should live their life. And so what I mean by that is I see my mom and she's still traveling. She's like, no, I'm still gonna travel. I'm gonna see the world. I'm not gonna let being a mom stop me, being a grandma now stop me. And like you said, you going back to school, you're still like improving yourself and stuff like that. And so like I feel like it's very important to see that model for you. And like even if you don't have someone in the home, like I still have like friends as well who I see that in, who are a bit older than me. They're like, just because I'm this age doesn't mean I'm gonna stop living my life. Right. You know, because like a misconception about age, and I see this kind of like people are really shattering this misconception nowadays, which I really, really like. They're like, just because I'm this age doesn't mean I can't start a new hobby. Just because I'm this age doesn't mean I can't move to a new city. So I think that's really important for anyone to see. And like, if you don't have it in your household, find someone on social media, because there's plenty of people who are doing what you're doing. And so I feel like it's very important, just from my perspective, it was nice to see you still doing that because it inspired me. I know I'm still young, I'm only 25, but like, it's like, oh, when I get my mom's age, life doesn't stop.
No, I still sign up for races. I did my first half marathon about 3 years ago. People were like, girl, you gonna get out there and run? Yep, I went and trained by myself and ran by myself. So it's something I put my mind to when I did it. And I'm gonna sign up for another one.
And so, Mom, the last question that I ask all my guests is, for life to feel and look authentic to you, what terms are required?
Family first, and God first. I always installed that in them, that, you know, no matter what, I don't want to push religion on them. They did grow up going to church and stuff, but just make sure you have something spiritually you could go to. And like I said, so God, family, travel, and overall health.
That's good. Thank you for coming, Mom.